life you're living today wasn't written yesterday. It's time to start living a purpose driven life, right? And what if I told you that the thoughts you think tomorrow has already shackled those to the ones you kept recycling from last week? The truth is, most of us are living in the past. The truth is, most of us aren't living at all. We're just reenacting, reenacting our pain, reenacting our past, reenacting our survival mechanisms, and we wonder why our future never looks anything different. You see, we're not living on purpose, we're living out of fear. We're not living out of passion, we're living out of regret. But what if you broke the loop? What if you decided one day, you know what, I'm going to take charge of my life. I'm going to take my thoughts back. I'm going to take my mind back. What if you woke up today not as a slave to your memories, but as an author to every single moment of your life? What if you woke up today and said, I'm no longer going to be a slave to my memories, but I'm going to be the author of my life? Welcome to Fearless Conversations. We're going to dive into how to live a purpose driven life. The illusion of thinking that you're just living, right? My name is Gerald Fears, just in case you don't know me. Let me ask you a question. What if I told you that 95% of your thoughts that you think today are the same ones from yesterday? Then who are you really? If 95% of your thoughts are the same ones you thought yesterday, who are you? Are you thinking or are you just remembering? Are you thinking or just remembering the same thoughts you thought yesterday and then calling that your life? You see, here's what neuroscience Joe Dispenza says. He's a doctor from neuroscience, great guy. He says, your brain is a record of the past. Your brain is a record of the past. And if every time you recall something negative, painful, or traumatic, you're not just remembering it, you're reliving it. You're biometrically and emotionally and physically attached to that moment every time you think of that. So you think you're being realistic, right? But you're just being historical. You're just repeating the same thoughts that you thought yesterday. You're dragging your trauma into your timeline. You're dragging your trauma into your timeline and then calling it your truth. Air quotes. But the truth is, your body is living in the past and you're trying to build a future from that. Your body is living in the past, but you're trying to build a future. Let me break that down. Gerald, what does all that mean? You say you want change, right? You say you want to live a purpose fulfilled life, a purpose driven life. You say you're ready for more. God, please bless me for more. Universe, please give me all the things I've been asking for. But your nervous system is addicted to anxiety. Your mind is still loyal to those damn limitations. Your body flinches at the idea of freedom. Oh, what does that mean? Because it doesn't recognize it. Your body is used to living in fear. So when something else is present, you're like, oh, whoa, what is this? Letting go has never been easier, right? But you have to know how to create that experience. And that's why getting a coach is some of the best. Listen, the best athletes in the world, I was one of them. You know what made me so great? I had a coach. You know what made all of the people that are really successful, they have a coach, right? Let me explain, what does that mean? I don't know if you feel like you've been haunted by your past, right? To be haunted, what does that mean? You're still owned by the ghosts of your old relationships, your old betrayals, your old belief systems. And it means the version of you that survived is now sabotaging the one that's trying to survive. The old version of you is trying to get out, but the new version of you is trying to get in, but the old version won't get out. You're haunted by the things that don't serve you. This means that purpose is chasing you. Vision is knocking. The future is buried under procrastination, heartbreak, or perfectionism. It's screaming to be resurrected, so to speak. Here's a question. Which part of yourself are you listening to? Are you inspired by a vision of your future? Or are you stuck by the vision of your past? Because your body doesn't know the difference. The voice of your past says for. You've left enough. You've dropped the voice on this. So what do you do now? The voice of the future whispers just says, you know what, buddy, you're gonna have to try again. Try again. This time it's gonna be different because you're going to be armed with the tools, the strategies, and techniques to live a purpose-driven life. Your story is not over, ladies and gentlemen. But here's the plot twist. You have to be quiet enough to hear it. I'll say that again. Your story is not over, but here's the twist. You have to be quiet enough to hear it. Brave enough to follow it. Your future is calling. Will you answer? Purpose is calling. Will you answer? Or are you trapped by the trauma of the past? I want to give you something empowering right now. You are the author of your life. You're the author, right? So let's stop lying to ourselves, saying, "Oh my God, I'm powerless. I'm just distracted." No, you have all the power. You have all the power, but you have to take your power back. You have to take. You're not powerless. You just have redirected your energy, right? Distracted by social media, distracted by all the things that aren't serving you, distracted by things that don't bring you value, right? You're trapped by the old patterns, by people that no longer bring are setting you up. Let's get one thing straight. You're not the result of your past. You are the results of your decisions. You are not the results of your past. You're the results of your decisions. Let me say that again. You are not the results of your past, but you are the results of your decisions. So if you're still feeling like you're in survival mode, I want you to reach out to me and say, Gerald, how can you help me live a purpose-driven life? How can you help me step into the river of change, access something new, a new way of being, a new school of thought? How do you do it? Because your best thinking has gotten you right where you are. And it's time for you to live a better life, but you can't do that if you're stuck in the past. Every day you get a choice to live the best version of you. Every day you get a choice. So the question is, are you going to live in the idea and the reality that you do have a choice? What is your reality, right? What is your reality? That's up to you guys. That's up to you to decide what vision of your life are you going to live through? What's going to be your reality? What's going to be your truth? Let me remind you again, you are the author. You're the author of your life. So whatever you want to see happen in your life, you have to create that moment for yourself. Envision that. Envision that. I want to let you guys know something as we wrap up. Here's the plot, the plot twist. The vision of your life is in your hands. Your future is not in the hands of fate. It's in the hands of focus. Focus writes the blueprint. Focus writes the blueprint. Belief signs it. Focus writes the blueprint. Focus writes the blueprint. Belief signs it, and action builds it. Guys, if this resonates with you, I want you to make sure you go to Fearless Conversations, subscribe, Apple, Spotify. And if you need help rewiring your identity, resetting up your purpose, reach out to me and say, Gerald, how can I do this? How can I change? How can I change my thinking so I can start living a purpose-driven life? What's the secret? To change is to think greater than your environment. Are you thinking greater than you feel? Are you thinking greater? Sometimes you're not going to feel like doing it, but can you think greater than the emotion? Greater than the conditions in your life? Because the conditions in your life are momentarily, right? They're for the moment, they're circumstance, but your life is for a lifetime. Situations are momentarily, right? So I want you to know something. If you want a new life, it needs to be purpose driven. You don't need a new job. You need a new purpose. You don't need a career. You need a new inspiration. You don't need a new partner. You don't need a new anything. You need a new perspective. You don't need a new habit. You need a new life. And that comes by recreating your life, rearranging your life to things that serve you, to add value. You don't need a new identity. You need a new perspective. Identity doesn't really change anything until you actually change yourself. Identity doesn't start with your bio, not at all. But what does it start with, Gerald? Identity starts with your beliefs. The story you tell yourself in the dark is the one you become in the light. The story you tell yourself in the dark is who you become in the light. So what stories are you telling yourself? If you want a better life, tell a better story. If you want a better life, tell a better story. You're not broken. You're just becoming. You're not behind. You're just building. You're not confused. You're just being recalibrated for the life that you've always wanted. The reason why you're confused is because you're stuck in the past, and it's time to get recalibrated with clarity. Coaching programs help you with that. Reach out and say, Gerald, I need one-on-one coaching. But this requires you to commit. This requires something that people don't have in their life, stillness. People avoid stillness because stillness forces you to feel. And most people would rather stay busy than to sit still and imagine a future greater than themselves. Most people would rather stay busy than to be honest with themselves and start healing. Healing begins when your hiding ends. Stop hiding from your future. Stop hiding from your purpose. Your blueprint of the future is waiting for you to write it because you are the author. You are the author of your life. Let your faith be your fuel because you are the author. Close your eyes when you get a chance at night before you go to sleep and picture the highest version of yourself. What would that person wear? Where do they live? How do they walk, speak, love, decide? Ask yourself, what part of your current life contradicts that vision of yourself that you want to be? That's what you need to let go of today. The person who's in the way of your purpose-driven life, the part of you that needs to die so your purpose can be resurrected. Not next week, not when it's convenient, not when you feel ready, but because you'll never feel ready, you'll end up being on someday island, okay? Because if you wait until you feel ready, you'll be stuck forever. If you wait until you're ready, you'll be stuck forever. Purpose isn't polite. It will disturb you. It will wake you up at 2 o'clock in the morning. When I first started playing tennis, I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go play tennis. I couldn't help myself. Purpose will force you to delete someone's number, block distractions. Hell, even stop negotiating with parts of yourself that you're no longer aligned with. Purpose isn't soft. It's sacred. It's the fire in your gut that says, I can't live like this anymore because I don't feel like I'm bringing value to myself or to others. Stop editing your vision for your life. Stop editing listen, your vision needs to fit in your environment. And if your environment is not conducive, it doesn't support your vision, it doesn't expand it, then you need to change your environment. Start expanding your environment to match your vision. Start expanding your environment to match your vision. I'm going to leave you guys with this because I don't want to be too long. Your past is not the proof of your limits. It's the platform that you're going to launch yourself from. You were not born to repeat, but you were born to reveal to yourself who God truly made you to be, what the universe really put inside of you. There's something special inside of each and every one of you. And God in the universe is waiting for that gift to be given. Reveal the version of you that's been buried under self-doubt. Reveal the identity that's been waiting on your permission to rise. Reveal the reality that's available to you when you stop being loyal to your damn history. Your trauma is history. Leave it there. Your past is history. Leave it there. Don't just live with purpose. Live on purpose. This is your invitation, not to hustle, not to grind, not to prove, but to align yourself with a purpose greater than yourself, a vision greater than the way you feel. Breathe that in. Reset your life. It's time to write a new sentence. You are the author of your life. Now pick up that damn pen and write something worth remembering. Yeah? I love you guys. May God bless you and keep you, and may you find your purpose and be driven by that. See you soon.